Spoiler warning. If you haven't watched the show that we are discussing today and want to avoid spoilers, stop right there. Go binge and come on back. If you have or don't mind spoilers, sit back with your favorite drink and enjoy. Hello and welcome to Coffee and Dramas with your hosts, Michael
and Nadia.
Woohoo!
Hope you guys had a great week, great weekend. Weekend's here, yay! Well, almost there for us. When you watch this, it'll be Friday. TGIF.
What?
You remember ABC's TGIF?
No? Well, yeah.
Yeah, like the shows on TGIF. No,
yeah.
That was okay, anyways. Sabrina the Teenage Witch and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true, right?
When we had good television in North America. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am all right, thank you. Not 100%. I don't think so.
No?
No, but better than yesterday.
Okay, that's good at least.
Yeah. It's February, almost done. We got so much snow
in the last 2 days.
Yeah. Oh, it wouldn't stop.
Very heavy.
Yeah. Month is almost done. Mm-hmm. We're almost into March, guys.
Crazy.
Which, I mean, that's the first quarter of the year. Almost done.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, no? Because it's been a year since almost a year since the pandemic started. In North America.
It feels kind of like a new normal.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Which they've been trying to educate us on. Okay, I won't go there.
That's a different story and a different podcast.
I hope everybody has been staying sane. We have almost... Sometimes.
Most of the time.
I mean, we're already not sane to begin with, so it's just a normal day for us. But I mean,
I'm picking up new hobbies.
Yeah.
Trying at
finally.
least. Shut up.
I've been playing more video games,
which
is
true.
Great because it's been a while since I've actually got to sit down and play video games.
But don't tell my parents that.
I don't play that much. But yeah, it's been an interesting year.
Yeah,
you can say. We been watching a lot of Kdramas. I mean, that's nothing new.
Yeah.
Actually, okay. So what we're talking about today is what we binge watched in the last 4 days.
I think 4 days. Yeah.
4 days. We were trying to do it in 3 days, but then one day Nadia wasn't feeling well.
Yeah.
And so we only did one episode that day, I think.
I think so.
So the show we binge watched is A Piece of Your Mind.
Yeah.
Which originally was scheduled to be 16 episodes, came out as 12 episodes due to pretty sure it was ratings. If I look up the ratings here. Yeah, the ratings were the great. Yeah. Okay. So this is where I actually, before we even start talking about the themes of the show, talk about things related to the themes. Anyways,
that's why it ended somewhat not abruptly, but
it was a little
just
rushed, right? To end it. Yeah. I feel like there was a lot more story to be told between Jung Hae-In's character and the husband, Kim Sung-kyu's character, so Kang In-woo, the pianist.
I feel like they could have become friends.
I don't know if become friends, but I think there would have been a much more conflict, right? Usually
I don't think it would have been conflict. I think it would have been a resolution, because his cousin likes him.
Conflict, confrontation.
Yeah,
that's it. More confrontation. There was only, I think, 2 scenes where
which one scene sucked.
Yeah, exactly. One scene was boss status.
Yeah.
Buys out the entire friggin' recital. Sick. That was awesome. And then the second where he just kind of pretty much telling him you won, and you know what I mean, with everything. He pretty much told him look, you won. She wanted to be with you either way. But there's only those 2 scenes, you know what I mean? In most dramas
there's more.
There would be more, right? And I feel like
it was a kind of slow moving show. So could that potentially be
I mean,
the rating drop? Like, because I liked it. It was good. Like, obviously, it wasn't super slow in the fact where it's like, holy crap, I'm bored.
no, because what I found, this was very similar to Something in the Rain,
Is it the same director?
One Spring Night. He is I think so, actually. Lee Sang-yu. Yeah. He is the director of. No, he's not. Oh, that's why I know his name from. He's Shopaholic Louis' director. But I mean, it's like the same type of style that they were going with, in the sense of more of a grounded, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
More a realistic view on this certain topic, right? And I feel like you need to take it slow, especially with the topic. So the topic, like the biggest, in my opinion, the biggest overall theme of the story is like grief, mourning, and like that type of, right?
And healing.
And healing, right? And obviously, but like the biggest thing is the two of them grieving over Jisoo.
Yeah.
And them like actually mourning her.
But it's all three of them though, right?
And then of course. But I mean like the two guys.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that we'll get into, is how much of a person can affect your life in such a short amount of time, right? But yeah,
especially
the ratings,
when you hear them die.
Yeah. It the ratings, like I feel like this is a subject that no one wants to talk about. I feel like that's the reason why the ratings weren't as high, is that they didn't, I don't think, because if you go online and you see comments about this, everybody, I feel like that's not Korean, enjoyed the show and loved the show and the topics and whatever, because like all the acting was great, the writing was great, even though they cut it down and they shortened it, and they kind of not rushed it, but they picked up the pace in the last few episodes just to kind of end it. They still did a good job with it. You know, there was a few, like a plot hole here and there that was kind of, maybe they could have explained it if it was 16 episodes. Those last 4 episodes could have helped it, but that's fine. Like every show, every movie has plot holes. Like some of the greatest movies of all time have the worst plot holes, in my opinion.
I think I would have liked it if it was 16 episodes.
But I think so too.
But I guess Koreans don't really like to.
I don't. Yeah. So
very similar to Arabs, where they like to bottle all their feelings.
Yeah, and like they're taught that too. Like the Arabs are taught that at a young age. It's like, no, you shouldn't feel anything. And
well,
it's like,
so were we.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, sorry. Like that's.
I was saying like
wow.
the Arabs.
Sorry.
Like our culture.
I think I'm tired. Yeah, like it took me maybe 20 years or 25 years just to just to express my feelings more, and that was towards you and no one else, because no one else really listens to me.
Well, it's all about it's you're finding that person that will listen to you, right? And
it's still like I don't really tell you. Well, I tell you a lot, but like I don't always tell you things like. And
you don't have to,
right?
You know what I mean? Like I prefer that you talk to me about the things that really bug you, that have been really like messing with your head, and that's stuff you need to talk about. Because if the more not the more, but when you have someone who values your opinion, who values your thoughts, and you are able to talk to them on a, you know what I mean, on a comfortable level, having that person when you're having these almost like mental breakdowns, these crazy thoughts, and you just need someone to talk to, just like yell.
It's a release,
right? Exactly. And everybody needs that person. That's why I prefer when you are like frustrated or angry or whatever, just say it. Yeah. You know?
Makes
and like
sense.
That's where our fights come from. It's not actual fights. It's just like you give attitude when you don't need to give attitude. But I mean, I understand it.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna be like, oh, stop acting like a bee, you know?
Yeah.
That's the way it is. Okay. So a piece of your mind.
With my favorite.
The literal translation, half of a half,
Yeah.
which I want to get to that because I like that. I like that thing. Okay. So with your favorite, your husband, apparently. One of my favorite actors, Jung Hae-In.
I think he's just so good.
He is amazing.
Like very like as much as he plays somewhat the same character in almost every show, he does show range in like the attitudes and the
Yeah, I found him actually he started out similar to his other characters, but then with everything that happens in the show, he really showed how different this character is compared to the other characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's actually one of my favorite characters, I would say. Like his attitude and his the way he holds himself. You know what I mean? Like he technically runs a big IT company, but you don't really remember half the time.
Well, there's only ever 4 people in the office to begin with.
Right. But it's like you don't realize he's like the head of this entire. You know what I mean? Like it's not obviously probably it's not like a huge company, but it's like probably like a company that they started themselves. But I mean, he's the head of it, and you don't even realize it because you're just like whenever he's in the office.
Yeah.
He's not really like a dictator. He's not really.
It's like just do your work and go away.
That's it, right?
I don't think, even though they came up with the little device, like the therapeutic device, I don't think it was like the company portion of his life was a huge part of it. It was more just like, I think like it would have been cool to see more of like the brainstorming sessions that they had with the doctor.
Yeah. That would have been really, really cool. And I feel like that's what that he was more involved in was the programming and how it'll affect the patients.
Yeah.
And I think that's would have been really cool if they would have elaborated more on that.
Or if they would have came up with the touch thing that they were talking about and then.
Oh yeah, right. And I don't
that's
think
probably
they
in the
really
16
got into
episodes.
It, probably.
Damn it! Come on, guys, you're supposed to like it. Rude.
The love interest, the main, the female actress is Chae Soo-Bin, who I absolutely love.
Yeah,
she's
cute.
awesome, and every actress, which is every actor and actress has such a different acting style, and like hers, you can see right away whenever you see her in her shows. She's very different from everybody else, right?
Yeah.
Just like Shin Se-kyung's different and Park Bo-young, they're all different. And she was great in this. And she was in I'm Not a Robot and Strongest Delivery Man. And oh my God, there's a couple other things that I watched her in. I can't remember. Strongest Delivery Man, actually, I didn't watch that one, but I know she's in that one. But she was great. Her character, I had a rough time, like towards the end. I had a rough time understanding, and we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Understanding her feelings there, it kind of bugged me. But that's just my personal opinion. Like that's her. She played her character well, and like it worked with her character.
Get it.
Yeah, and we'll get into.
But it's like it's hard to I don't know how to explain it, but it just makes sense.
We'll get into it. And we'll explain it. And then you have, Jung Hae-In's character. Jung Hae-In plays Moon Ha-won. Okay. Chae Soo-Bin plays Han Seo-Woo. Okay. And then you have Lee Ha-na, who plays Moon Soon-ho, who's technically Jung Ha-In's niece in the show, but they're the same age. The reason being is that the grandmother adopted him, so technically.
Did she adopt him?
Yeah, that's what they were explaining. So, because she does a lot of relief work for.
Yeah, like I know that she sponsors kids.
Yeah,
so
she ended up sponsoring. She ended up adopting him. So technically, that's her uncle.
Weird.
Right? Because if it's the grandmother's son, right?
Yeah.
And she's the
But I think he's
granddaughter?
older than her.
No, they're the same age. She said they're the same age.
No, they were around the same age.
Yeah, still. They're still around the same age.
She does look older though.
Yeah, she
I
does
don't
look
know
older.
if it was the haircut or something, but that haircut didn't like it suited her, but it just made her look older.
Yeah.
I'm just like, eh.
I feel like that's what they were going for too, just
I
to make her
guess.
more sophisticated, I guess. And then you have Kim Sung-kyu, who plays Kang In-wook, the pianist.
He's good.
He was really good.
He's very pretty.
And yeah.
There's something about him that just like pretty, but like
Pretty.
maybe if he did a better role and not such a depressed role, it would have been
Yeah,
better.
the character suffered the entire time.
Oh, you know who he reminds me of actually? Felix from
Stray Kids?
yeah. Like with the same eyes, you know, like the same like cat like
Yeah,
eyes.
he has, and like almost like the same jaw structure,
Yeah.
very like narrow and straight. Yeah, I can see that. But Felix looks really much more like a cat.
I wonder if they did that on purpose.
I don't know,
'Cause
maybe.
his name is Felix.
Maybe that'd be funny. And then you have who this is centered around, Park Joo-hyun, who's actually this is her first show, but she had more shows after, like in 2020, playing Kim Ji-soo.
I'd like to see her in something else.
She's in a couple other things now. So
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like,
yeah.
I'd like to watch another
She,
show. With her.
you know, it's funny. She reminds me of the new girl group aespa. She looks like one of them.
I don't know.
I'll have to show it to you after.
Yeah.
She looks like one of them.
She was good for the role that she played, and she had such a soft face.
Yeah. And
If that makes any sense.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like very soft features, very
Yeah.
like there's no roughness to her,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's she.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so show. Whoever's listening to this, yeah, y'all can skip that part, anyways. We can get into the actual, you know what I mean, what we want to talk about on Coffee and Dramas. So the show's about grieving, you know, mourning.
One big theme that we kept seeing was green, the color green throughout the show.
Yeah,
for
like
healing and
life,
know,
renewing, renewed life,
like spring essentially.
Yeah, and then you see it throughout the show. The characters who are going through, who are kind of suffering, who are going through a lot. They were always wearing black. Like he was always wearing black when he was at his darkest. He was always wearing black. Same with Ken and Wook.
Yeah.
He was always wearing black.
So on that subject, like when the show ended, he was wearing black, and I was kind of sad because like he got to the green.
Yeah.
And then he went back to black, and I'm like,
Yeah. I think he still he should have. I mean, he was healing.
Yeah.
Like he finally got to see her true, like Jisoo's true feelings for him.
Yeah.
And so that was the positive turn.
Oh, shivers.
And then he was kind of, you know, but I mean, I think 16 episodes would have been
a lot better
to like let him to develop that
green
kind of, you know what I mean? Because like he finally like, oh yeah, like he finally started to get that positive back into his life, and it kind of just ended, right? So but yeah, so the green was a big green plants, you know what I mean, life was a big thing. One of the things that I really 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 liked was so Moon Ha-won was in love with Kim Ji-soo since they were kids, right? They were in Norway together, and so they grew up there together. He obviously was in love with her. She obviously didn't love him that way, as you learned throughout the entire show. She did not love him that way, which really sucks.
It's really, that hurts,
that
man.
really hurts.
Excuse me.
And then so he goes to the States to study, then goes back to Korea, and then she calls him to Korea, and she's like, yeah, I'm getting married. And it's like, wow, I flew fucking 15 hours to get here, and all I got is getting rejected.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's besides the point. But so
is it though? Is it?
So when he
No, I know.
he never got to actually see her before she passed away.
No.
Right. And that
not
played
her face.
Yeah,
least.
well, that's it. Like he never actually got to see her. So that played like a big part of his mourning, of like his grieving. But what was more interesting to me, obviously, is rediscovering what love actually is through Han Seo-Woo.
I feel like it's not even rediscovering. I feel like it's discovering what love is, because like what do they call it? Unrequited love.
Unrequited love. So
Like,
you love someone, but they don't love you back.
yeah, like I feel so
But
that's one thing, right? Like you love someone that doesn't love you back and you
Mhm.
care for them. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I feel like to really feel love, you need to be with someone that actually loves you.
Right.
So you can feel it. So you know, like, I think that's
Yeah. No, that's okay. So okay, we'll go with discovering love.
Mhm.
Let's go actually discovering what true love
Yeah.
is, right? Not your first love can be your true love, but his first love wasn't.
Yeah.
And that was what sucked, is that
Like what, 15 years and
I mean, the middle school, high school,
20 years.
yeah, 50.
I think they were like 30 by the time.
Yeah, at least 30, about that. So, and like they spent pretty much every day together.
Mhm.
And then they were saying how like some days it's like 24-hour days.
Yeah.
And it's like they were spending all day together. It's like nothing from Jisoo, not even like oh, maybe I like him. No.
I found someone else.
No. As soon as he left the States, it's like this guy came in and he's like, yo, what up?
Yeah, like why didn't she just not date him? I don't understand why they even considered themselves dating when like probably him and or her Jisoo and
Hawan, yeah.
were probably dating more than they were
Dating, but
They,
yeah,
like,
they were together all the
quotation
time.
marks.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I don't.
But like together all the
time.
time as kids and together all the time as adults is different, right?
I guess so, but he came in right after he left.
Yeah.
Right. That was pretty much it. Like he left when they were like, when he was like
Scooping
17,
in.
18.
What's it called? Swooping in.
Swooping in. Coming
Save
in
the
like,
day.
whoa.
But like, so the question is, did she love him, or was it just like,
Hawan?
yeah?
I honestly think she just saw him as like a friend, as like a younger, or like a brother.
Because they were married for what, 10 years at that point, and
Yeah, they were
they
married.
still didn't have any kids.
Yeah.
Not that it's like you have to have kids. I'm just saying, like,
It's interesting. Shit. I didn't even think of that. So Kang Wook and Kim Ji-soo were married 10 years and they never had kids. And they never mentioned
anything about
anything of like if they were trying, if they're usually like honestly, usually in these dramas, it's like they mention it.
Yeah, like
There's,
someone like does like, when are you gonna have kids?
Yeah.
Where are
it's
the
like,
kids?
Do you have kids? Like kind of thing.
Yeah.
They never really
They
mentioned that.
didn't
So
say
like
anything.
10 years and could I didn't even catch that.
Well, it's like the whole thing I was thinking about. Like, how are you? Not that like, hey, like I know a bunch of people that have been together forever and don't have kids. It's not a big deal.
That's not the point. The point of this is that no one mentioned it.
Yeah.
When in every other drama you'll watch, they'll mention it if this is the situation.
And like you would think because the Ha-woon was so in love with Jisoo,
yeah.
like he'd want kids from her, and like when are we gonna have kids? And like what's the dealio, you know?
No, In-wook is who she's married to.
Oh, whoops, sorry. Whoopsies.
Not
Sorry.
Hawan. I think that's what he
In-wook.
wanted. In-wook. Yeah. Okay.
Right,
So
though?
yeah. No, exactly. That's very interesting. I didn't even think of that. That never even crossed my mind. I think like everything that was going on is a little bit more. Wow. I didn't. Yeah. Okay. But yeah. So it's not anything against anybody not having kids. Yo, do whatever you want. It's just in these
Kids
dramas.
are hard, okay?
Yeah. It is in the dramas. You know what I mean? And like the Korean culture, the Arab culture, they're always like,
You're married? Okay, kids, pop them out one after
let's
another.
go. Let's go. Yo, you've been married 2 minutes. Let's go. Let's go.
And like maybe it's because you don't actually see either of their parents.
Maybe. Well, because
Are her parents still in Norway? No, they're not.
I don't even know.
Because like they mentioned the parents at one point, but like they don't really go into it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's very interesting. Now I gotta rewatch the show. Okay.
Maybe the 4 episodes will magically appear.
Oh yeah, right. Oh man, I wish. I'd like to read the scripts if they still had them. Like that'd be sick.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So on a on a very like a more somber note. So the grieving and mourning aspect of the show is like really important to the characters, right? Actually,
I
before
should wear green.
I'm wearing green.
That's not green. That's
It's
brown.
like a. Anyways,
It, like matches the couch at this point.
oh, it's not okay. Anyways, so okay, actually, before we get into that, well, actually, it's gonna. So we'll talk about actually So
Okay.
when she meets Jisoo for the
Yeah.
first time, and they only know each other for such a short amount of time before that she actually passes away.
Yeah.
And then we'll get into grieving.
I think
after
it's
that.
only like maybe 2 months.
I think so. So she first meets her after Sunho tells her to buy the dishes, right? Because Hawan,
Yeah.
right? All right. So the first time she sees her is her walking up the hill with a box of dishes that she's selling to her. And I mean, you see how it was really not weird, but like she was in awe when she saw her.
But
right?
Jisoo was in awe of her too, remember?
Right. That was
So it's
that connection. And what's funny is that before they meet, Hawan meets Seo-Woo, right?
It's before dawn.
Before dawn. And she tells Sunho, there's someone that suits Jisoo,
Oh.
right? And she's
I
like,
don't remember that.
no, okay.
No.
So that was like a little, it was like a little, and it was great because it was like a little dialogue that that's a little thing he mentioned, because he's like, yeah, like there's someone that I found someone that suits Jisoo, that's like obviously not like
Like her
like girlfriend, but like more of someone that would understand her, right? That would get along with her, right?
Yeah.
And
which they did.
yeah. And then when they made the device or whatever, was it the device or was it Jisoo before she died? She's mentioned, she's like, I know someone. She's like, oh, you would suit Hawan, or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Yeah.
And it's like, it's interesting to see how these two people, because they grew up together, they know each other very well.
Yeah.
And then they meet this one person who would get along with both of them, kind of thing, that would suit both of them, right? And it's such a.
I feel like if Jisoo lived for the show, she would have tried to get them together.
I think so, yeah.
Like she would have pushed her towards him.
Yeah, and I think that's why the device was doing it.
Yeah.
Right. The AI learns. So like a part of the show is about the technology. It's not like the technology is the
Watch
important.
Korea come out with this friggin' like.
Don't
thing.
say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. It's really creepy. So technology is not.
Next month, yeah, we're gonna come on here and be like, it's actually a thing.
So, if you haven't watched the show, Hawan's company creates a device to help psychiatric patients talk to themselves, right? And so what they do, this device is an AI deep learning device. So they put in all the information and data that they have on the person. They record the person's voice.
Yeah.
And they make this little Google Assistant, Alexa type of device. And once it finds that reaction point of what matters most to you, the AI pretty much takes over the programming and becomes autonomous.
Yeah.
Right?
It's really creepy.
And that's why I'm saying I hope to God they don't make something like this.
It's like, how does the computer know that that's the reaction point, you know?
That's because it processes all the data. That's the thing. It processes all the data that's in there.
So it's like your brain, another brain.
That's what an AI pretty much is, right? That's pretty much what it is. It's like it's a fake brain, but a real brain at the same. And okay, anyway, it's creepy.
Yeah.
So this is not the main point of the show. Is not the technology, but what the technology does.
Yeah.
For whatever, and it is pretty creepy. But so they test it with him with Hawan's voice for like personality, whatever first, and then they do it with Jisoo's.
Yeah.
And that becomes kind of like a vital part, I guess you can say, of the show, because
in both of their healing.
Yeah, in both of their healing, right? And so gets to kind of, that's where most of her, not most of her energy, but some of her interactions with Jisoo are through this device, and kind of you see how they would have interacted if she was still alive at that point, right? They would have been really good friends. And you see like the device itself was trying to push her to him, right? And that's like the short amount of time that she's known her, you see how much of an effect that they both had on each other.
Yeah.
Right? It's interesting because in real life that shit happens. Like you can meet someone and in like a short period of time you become so not attached, but you become so close.
Well, look at us.
Right?
Like within a month it felt like we'd known each other. Well, within a day it felt like we knew each other for like millions of years.
That's true.
Maybe a week, but like
I mean,
I'm pretty sure like the first week we hung out, if you didn't have the flu, we would have hung out like a lot more.
I didn't have the flu. I had freaking
pneumonia.
I was dying from pneumonia. Oh my god. I was like hacking up my lungs that I remember that. Oh jeez, it was May. It was summer and I had pneumonia.
Was it summer?
It was in May.
Oh yeah, that's true. Wow.
It was in May when I actually caught pneumonia, and then the doctor 2 weeks later, oh yeah, you had pneumonia.
It's like pretty. But now you have a fractured rib.
Yeah, that was bad.
I think everyone meets someone like that at least once in their lifetime. Like it's a cool feeling to like meet someone and just like click with them right away and just like.
Yeah, it's interesting too. It's interesting to see the dynamic. It's like you don't know who this person is, but for some reason you're just like, oh, we're like best friends now. Yeah. Yeah. So it's really it was cool to see that in the show, where how much she affected in such a little time, right? And how she really brought them together without bringing them together. You know what I mean? Because if she didn't meet Jisoo, she wouldn't know who. I wouldn't say she wouldn't know. Like Hawan wouldn't have went to the studio. Yeah. Right. He wouldn't be at the studio all the time. Right. Yeah. He needed the studio to record her voice, but like they could have done it at a different studio. Or, you know what I mean? So all these things, like they all come together. They all mesh together. And that's where segue into grieving in the morning. You see how much she is affected by her passing, right? And how affected Hawan and In-wook are affected, right? And how these two men, actually all these three people are affected differently, right? Yeah. One is technically was his best friend. Yeah. Right?
Her best friend.
Hawan they were technically best friends.
No, I know, but you said his best friend. It's her best friend.
Okay. Either way, which way, they were best friends. Yeah. Right? And he loved her. Yeah. And then her husband. And then a new friend who could have been would have been one of her closest best friends. You know what I mean? Like, so you see how it affect each one of them differently. Yeah. And
and like the grieving that it takes. Like, so In-wook is essentially, I feel like he's already depressed because of how
Everything,
how he
before,
felt with his Ha-woon's mother, and like
Mhm.
blaming himself. Really, like shit happens. Like you lied, and I understand um I understand, but she was already leaving with Boots anyways.
What if
So,
she wasn't going that way? What if she was going somewhere else?
but the thing is, she's already. So my thing, this whole thing, she's already leaving with Boots.
That could have
She's
been.
not gonna come outside with Boots just to get them to the front door, right? But like,
What if that was just a continuity error?
maybe, who
Like maybe
knows?
she just came outside. Maybe like she wasn't supposed to
But
have.
like, look at it this
Anyways,
way, like. So if he looks at the fact that she already had Boots, she was coming outside anyways.
okay, but he wasn't looking at that fact
But
though.
that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Maybe, like if he just thought of that, maybe he should stop blaming himself, because it's probably not his fault. She probably was gonna go do it anyways. Maybe she was gonna go a different way though,
Okay.
instead of going the way
But
that
she
they
did, and that's the problem. That was his problem, is that he felt that it was his fault for her going, not knowing
and
maybe
go
she
to
was already
therapy.
going. What if therapy didn't help him? Okay, anyways, like, so yes, he was struggling with that, and then when he told Jisoo about it,
Yeah.
she was distraught and was very,
Mhm.
I don't know how to say it, like
She pitied Ha-woon, essentially.
exactly, and then he didn't like that because he hated Hwan.
Ha-won. Sorry.
Um,
But he hated him because he blamed himself for killing his mother.
no, apparently, no, he didn't like him to begin with, and when they were in Norway, before,
Yeah, because all he ever did was hang out with her.
but they didn't. That's what like bothered me. It's like, why didn't you just hang out with them? Like you're the three only Koreans at
Yeah,
your school.
exactly.
Just like be friends, man. You had to wait till he left, and then you come in and be like, oh yeah, I'm Korean too.
Oh my god.
Like, come on. Anyway, so he was struggling with that. He was struggling with the fact that she couldn't accept that. You know what I mean? And then he didn't like the fact that she still thought of Hawan, right? Because he had like such a hate on for him. Like, man, just let it go. Let it
Just
go.
because he's hot
And-
doesn't mean you have to hate him.
And he was he always thought that she was still talking to him.
But didn't they both like agree to stop talking?
Yeah, they
Okay.
did, but he didn't like after that happened, and she's like, "Oh, I feel so sorry for Hawan." She was like, oh, "I need to apologize to Hawan." I need to, like, you know what I mean? And so he thought that she was trying to see him or have been
Just look at
secretly
his phone.
seeing
Look
him,
at her phone.
and it's like,
Be a
"Yo,
creep."
dude." But that's what, like, if he should have at like near the end, he should have confronted Hawan and be like, "Yo, did you like whatever with Jisoo?" And then he would have told him, be like, "Yo, I haven't seen Jisoo in 10 years because of your ass." You know
Well,
what I mean?
it's the no talking, right? Like
Yeah,
they don't
that's
talk to each other.
communication
And
shit.
it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, it's annoying.
if you don't want to talk, you don't want to understand the situation, then you can't be mad.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, go away.
Exactly. Yeah, so he was struggling. So he's struggling. And like, poor guy, like, yeah, he's struggling. Like, I feel bad for him. Because that's like on top of everything, and then your wife dies. Like, you can't even get closure from your wife at that point. That sucks. That's terrible, right?
Yeah.
And then on Hawan's part, it's like you don't even see her for 10 years, and when you finally get to see her, she runs away, and then she dies, and then you get no closure either. You know?
Like,
And it's like, obviously
she's
it's two
just
different.
flaky.
100% flaky. 100% flaky. Like, she should have. I mean, if she kept writing the letters to Suno,
Yeah.
right? His niece, technically. And if you really didn't want him to know, you should have just not even mentioned it to her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you wanted him to know, you should have told him. Like that's a big friggin' deal.
Yeah.
Right? And if you were struggling with it, you should have been more open with your husband about what is, you know what I mean? And you should have worked it out together.
It's like unresolved grief. You know, like when people tell you go see the person dying so you can like get closure.
Yeah.
And whatever. It's like they weren't able to do that. None of them were able to get closure. And
before she died.
Yeah, before she died, and that was
it came after they got.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, In-wook got closure in the last letter that she sent before she died.
Yeah.
But Ha-won didn't really get any closure, if you think about it. He got closure in the sense that he finally sees that she never actually loved him the way he loved her.
And I think he finally accepted the way his mother died.
Yeah, and that's all he like. Honestly, like that's I was really mad that like they kept it from him, and Sunho was trying to protect fucking In-wook. That really pissed me off too. And it's like he just wants to, like, he literally just deep down that he just wants to know how, because he cannot.
He doesn't get it.
Doesn't understand why she would have been out in a blizzard when she, out of all people, knew the safety rule, like the safety regulations, right?
Yeah.
And she like was really adamant. Like he even mentions it, like she was like the one person that would know, right? And he couldn't understand why she was out there in a blizzard. Yeah. So all he wanted to know, was why, how, you know what I mean? Why she went out. That's all that's it. That's all he wanted to know. And they kept trying to keep it from him. It's like, yeah, it's going to hurt him, but he's already suffering from the passing of his mother. Why can't you just tell him the real reason why she passed?
And let him accept it.
Exactly.
Let him heal.
Exactly. You can't heal if you're so if you're so stuck on this, right?
It's hard to heal when there's so many questions.
Yeah. And if you don't get the answers, you won't heal. Yeah. And it's, even if it's not the answers that you were hoping for, it's still the answers to the questions that you were asking.
Yeah.
And then that way you can move on and heal from it.
Yeah.
And that's what he finally got to do. Right?
I feel like we would have seen him heal a bit more if like the show went to the 16 episodes.
I think so too.
But I like that they ended up together. And I feel like she helped him a lot. She did.
And that's where I thought it was really cute because she understood why he was grieving. She understood why he was so the way he was, right? He's a very interesting character.
Yeah.
He's not like he's nothing like Im Shi-won's character in Run On. Nothing, not that interesting. Because that's very interesting. He's interesting in the way that he did certain things that you wouldn't see other characters doing. Like when they're talking to Jisoo's device, and Jisoo started talking about how her conversation with Seo-Woo.
Oh yeah.
And usually, like, if she ripped out the earphone, that was it. He doesn't hear it in other dramas. In this drama, he went straight for.
It's like she knew he was gonna, like, he knew she was gonna do it, so he's like on his way to do it anyway.
Right. And that was like, even though some people will not notice that, but that's something that other characters and other dramas would not do.
But I think at that point he was starting to heal slowly, and he was starting to realize like Jisoo isn't the only person in the world. Yeah,
but he was also determined to know.
The reaction points.
Yeah, the reaction points. You know what I mean? And he was determined to know if he was the reaction point. And in the end, it all went in a freaking full circle. So his reaction point, he was trying to figure out the reaction point to his device, which was the lightning. And that reaction point he thought was associated to Jisoo. This whole time he thought his reaction point was Jisoo. And in the end, it was his mom. His mom was a reaction point because the lightning. His mom would. His mom would play the piano for him every time there's thunder and lightning.
Honestly, obviously he forgot, but what a great memory to have.
Right.
Like what a
and
deep down.
Yeah. And then the reaction point for Jisoo, and he thought it was him, and then he thought it was Seo-Woo, but it actually went back to her husband and Wook. And that was an interesting thing too. So it shows how much she loved him. And then you can see in Wook how much he really loved her. I think
he really did care about her, and I think if he would have gotten help, that their marriage could have just lasted. And
I mean, the help that they needed was their communication. They should have fucking talked it out. I'm sorry, like you crying in your room and not letting your husband in when he's trying to fucking talk to you and like confront you, and then that's not helping. Like you crying alone is not gonna help the situation. You need to confront your husband, and you guys need to
understand like both sides of it. You know?
Yeah,
you can't just be like, oh, poor Hawan. Like, yeah, poor Hawan, but like poor him. Like he's been living with this thing, like right?
And it's like and in the letter, that's what she finally accepted. She's like, I want to be his strength and blah blah blah. And it's like, why the hell did you go to Norway? Why did you go back to Norway at that point?
But why did she ask him to go with her?
That's it, right? Because I feel like she wanted to tell him.
Wait, maybe the letter wasn't from Korea. Maybe she wrote it when she was in Norway. Maybe she finally figured it out and
before she
died, obviously. Right?
I didn't think of that. Then why would she go back? Why? Why would she go? Okay, so she goes back. Okay, when she went to Norway, let's say she wrote it and sent it when she came back. When she got to Norway.
Yeah.
She went to see his mother's grave.
Yeah.
Obviously to apologize and whatever.
Yeah.
But then she went back to the little house that they used to go to all the time. But she went back in the middle of winter when it was snowing really hard. Like, was she like?
Maybe the snow was her memory. Like maybe that's what she.
I get why she would go there emotionally, but like, why? It's not like you would forget how Norway. You know what I mean? Snowstorms are.
Yeah.
Whereas you're walking in the middle of a snowstorm, why wouldn't you go and take?
Because that's what they would always do. They would always.
I get it, but they wouldn't stay there in the middle of a snowstorm.
But they did, though. Did you not see that? Like, during when it rained, when it thundered, whatever, they would sit in the thing. Yeah, but obviously they're not going to stay there forever, but...
Why would... Like, that's what I mean. Like, she shouldn't have... That was, like... Honestly, like...
What else was she supposed to do, though?
I really thought she was...
Doing it on purpose?
Yeah.
Maybe. You never know.
As much as... How bad that sounds, but I feel like that was... She couldn't... And then, like, at the letter at the end kind of, like... threw me off. That's why the letter at the end was like, why would she do that? Again,
the 4 episodes, right? Like there would have been more answers if it could have went.
Yeah.
So, Seo-Woo? Is that how you say it? God, I'm horrible with these names. Okay. So near the end of the series, she is sad.
Yeah. So at one point she steals the device. She literally steals the device from his apartment.
Yeah.
And granted, he did lie about getting rid of the device.
He got rid of the information.
He got rid of like all the data and whatever from their servers, but the device was still there. So she gets the device And even though she kept telling him stop talking to her, she'll find out she died. She continues to talk to her, and she finds out she dies.
Yeah.
And then she has that sense of, am I between the two of them?
Yeah.
And it's like,
which honestly is a valid thing, because like he's loved the girl for like 20 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Is there space for her?
Right.
I
get that, but I mean, she also, it was a weird thing for me, because in the way I think, right, is that she had everything at her disposal to figure that out. And the fact that she was hurting and didn't really talk about it, I guess you can say.
No.
And
I don't think they did a lot of talking. That's a weird thing. Like, they healed, but it was more like...
They did talk, but not about certain things. Not about that. Like, their relationship... Like, yeah, they helped each other a lot, but they didn't talk about the relationship between the three of them, right?
Yeah, and I think they should have, obviously, but, like, I don't know. That was kind of a plot hole.
Yeah.
That was kind of like, it would have been
episodes,
cool.
Guys. Four episodes. All they needed was 4 episodes. Man, they're an hour long. Just 4 episodes would have been... 2 episodes would have been amazing.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like, I get it. Like, she thinks she's coming in between it, but, like, the way that she, even as, like, the machine, like, the device, Chae Soo is pushing her towards him anyways.
That's what I mean. That's what really, you know what I mean? And then the letter pretty much showing, like, yeah, Hawan had no chance of, you know what I mean? Because he thought, when they were about to meet in Seoul, right, that it's because, you know, she loves him, whatever. Like, so that was in his head. But in reality, it's because she wanted to tell him about his mom, and she wanted to apologize for that, and that's what was making her so miserable. It wasn't the fact that she wasn't with him, which he thought. In the end, he finds out. He figured, like, through the letter, that she never really actually loved him the way that he thought. Yeah, right? More
like a brother sister kind of. Yeah. Thing, which sucks, and I'm sorry that happens to a lot of people.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, being friend zoned is the worst thing in the world. Thank God you didn't friend zone me.
It's never happened to me. Maybe it has, and I'm just oblivious.
Maybe, but that's what bugged me about her. Why she was struggling so much is that, you know, all these things, but yet you still feel like you're coming between the love between them two, when she didn't really actually love him.
Maybe it's his and love. It's like, does he have enough love to love her? Is he going to be able to get over her? Not necessarily forget her, but maybe just kind of like, she's passed away. I love her, and like, I will always love her, but now it's time for me to kind of move on.
I feel like she was a little oblivious to him.
Obviously.
And like his feelings towards her, because again, the things he soft obviously face.
Women with soft faces, man, they're
anyways I feel like So really didn't see how much he loved her, and the things that he would do for her.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like, it's not
well, frig, he like came there and like, you were sleeping, and then he goes and buy you slippers. He goes and bought you slippers, or proper English, Nadia. Come on,
let's go, man.
But like, it's honest. Like, you can show your love with huge gestures, but it's the little smaller things that count. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go to their work and bring them coffee. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Even though it might be like 5 minutes out of my way.
And it's like, or like he's like the half look, that half look thing.
I like that.
That was cute. Where it's like, you just need to Yo, we live in the same house. Chillax. You meet halfway up the stairs.
Okay, go live somewhere else, and then
Okay.
we'll do a half look.
Okay, chillax over there. Like you go out of your way to do that for someone, right? It's like he's literally middle of work. He's like, yo, I need to see you.
But it's like when we used
Right.
to have lunch together.
Yeah.
Like one of us would go and have lunch with the other.
Exactly. And
Oh,
like
I miss that.
we have lunch. We just.
That's
had
not
lunch
what I
together.
mean. It's cuter
but-
when we're separated for 8 hours a day.
I'll leave the house for 8 hours next time.
Okay, bye.
Anyways, I feel like she was oblivious to that.
Yeah.
And that's
I
what
don't know,
that's
man.
what bugged me about her reaction, where she's like really sad for him, and it's sad for just
It's like, stop being sad. Get over it.
yeah.
And that's so we didn't even get to talk about it. Was a huge part of it. In Anju, is that how you say it?
Who?
The homestay, Anju.
Oh, Anju.
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 Like, it's like she told like stop being sad and just live.
Yeah. That's
And,
it.
like-
And even In-wook said it too. No, not
Yeah.
In-wook. Mr. Choi.
Yeah.
Mr. Choi, the engineer. He's like, don't be sad.
There's no reason.
You have no reason to be sad. You can be angry because she's
Yeah.
like, actually that was a good.
It was,
that was a
yeah,
great
that was
scene.
a
So where
really
she
good
was-
scene.
Where she was very like, she was like obviously like taken
It's
aback
like
or
she's
whatever, and then she's
pitying
like,
him, and it's like stop pitying him and just be with him.
But the way she was like, I want to take revenge. Should I just break his fingers? And she said it so nonchalantly, like she was like, "Oh my god, can I break his fingers?"
And, like-
how do I hurt him? And the guy and Mr. Choi was like,
Yeah.
he's like, "There's no reason for you to be sad. Be angry. Like this is not." He's like, "This is not a situation where you should be sad. You should be angry for him. Why?
Yeah.
You sound sad saying you want to take revenge. You should be angry when you want to take revenge."
Yeah, and
Like,
anger can dissipate over
yeah.
time, you know?
And she's like, "Go be angry." He's
Yeah.
like, "Go be angry." And so she went, "Bruh," and he thought she was gonna like
Yeah.
punch him in the face, and then she just kind of told him off and it
Yeah.
went away. That was okay, but like it would have been funnier if she
Yeah.
like threw something at him.
Mhm.
And but that was a great thing that like Anju and Mr. Choi was telling her, like, stop
Yeah.
being sad.
Yeah.
There's no, you gain nothing from being sad over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, if someone passes away, yeah, you're gonna mourn. You have to mourn. You grieve. You do it. Don't hold back like he did. Like,
What is it?
how
7
on?
steps of mourning or whatever?
It's like the seven
12
steps.
steps is AA. 7 steps, I think.
Probably.
Anger,
But
sadness.
that was the thing. So Haon didn't grieve
Mm-hmm.
until he was sitting with the coffee shop owner and
Yeah.
and so he finally hit him. It's like, she's not coming,
Yeah.
right? And that's where he finally broke down, and he actually got to cry and let the tears
Yeah.
out when he should have done it before.
Yeah.
And she said it too, like he needed this.
Yeah.
And that's
I
when you
really
start
like the
to
coffee
heal.
owner though.
Oh,
Like
he
as
was
much
so
he
great.
didn't really have much, but like he was.
Yeah, I
he
told
was-
you they were gonna be best friends too. Like he's there every day. They're
Yeah.
gonna be best friends. But that's it. You need to mourn. You need to grieve. You need to let it out. You know what I mean? That pain, you need to feel it. You need to like release it, right?
Yeah.
You need to accept that this is this is your situation. You need to accept that this has happened,
Mm-hmm.
and that life is gonna be different.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that's like once you get to the step of accepting your new reality,
Yeah.
you can heal.
Yeah.
You can
lot
finally
easier.
heal and move forward. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Not move on, move forward, because
Mhm.
the person that passed, that loved one, is always going to be with you.
Yeah.
They're always going to be in your memories, always going to be in your thoughts. You're always going to love this person. So you're
Mhm.
not moving on from them.
Yeah.
You're moving forward.
And you're getting on
right?
with your life.
Exactly.
As much as it hurts, it needs to be done.
It needs to be done, because the
Yeah.
person is not going to want you to grieve unless they're really really mean and they want you to fucking
Suffer.
suffer for the rest of your life. No,
Yeah.
they're going to want you to move on,
Yeah.
right? Because if you're stuck in one spot, it's over for you, and
Mhm.
you know what I mean. So you need to continue, right? So
Mhm.
grieve when you need to, when you need to grieve and mourn, you know what I mean, let it all out.
Yeah.
And that's what in Wook, when he finally got the letter, and he finally let it all out. You know what I mean? And he finally he accepted it, and
he was her strength. Like in the end, she ended up being his strength.
Exactly, and that's that's all he wanted.
Yeah.
In the end, it was he just wanted her to say it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
To
and
say
now he has Sunho.
Close enough.
They were cute.
They were really cute. They were really good.
As much as you didn't like it.
I just didn't like how she was trying to protect him over her own family. Yeah. That's where maybe really bothered me.
Yeah, whatever.
That's like, I get he has a recital.
Yeah.
But this is more important for both of them.
Yeah.
Literally for both of them to.
But she didn't see that,
on.
right?
And that's the issue. That was the problem. They both needed to confront each other, to talk to each other, so that they can both move forward.
And they should have had more of a conversation. Like when he went to go visit her at the farm.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm gonna tell him, and like if he wants to talk to you, he'll talk to you. But if he says it's done, it's done.
Yeah.
Like I think with the 4 episodes, we would have seen.
You would have seen that, yeah. And you would have seen, because Sunho didn't go to the recital.
Yeah.
Right. And I think you could have seen them eventually kind of grow closer to each other in those 4 episodes.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I know, put together. But
great show.
Watch it. Suggested.
Yeah. I mean,
like, don't watch it if you're sad, because it's gonna make you sad anyways.
Yeah, it's gonna make you really sad.
Watch it.
Yeah.
When you're happy.
Yeah, and trying to we binge watched it, and I honestly would recommend binge watching anything, but for shows like this, you would take your time.
I think we took our time. Like, we gave ourselves a couple, like a few
We watched
hours.
it in 4 days, man. And I mean, like a show like this, I would normally watch like 1, maybe 2 episodes every day or so, because like it's such it takes a toll, right? Especially if you've lost someone recently.
Yeah.
It's really, really, really hard.
Yeah, don't watch that unless you want to cry. I cried. I cry at everything though.
Yeah.
So, well, anything sad. But
yeah, so definitely, yeah. It's funny, like
he doesn't cry.
The ratings. No, I brought tears to my eyes too. Like
continue.
I was, but the ratings were shit. But I mean, don't let the short 12 episodes of the show deceive you. This was a fantastic show. It was, I would highly recommend it to everybody.
You the struggle.
Yeah, and it gave more of a realistic view on it, right? And it really focused on the struggles of the characters, right?
Yeah.
It didn't focus on the technology aspect or stuff like that.
Like the technology aspect was cool. But
it was really, really cool. But like it didn't focus on that, which was great. It didn't focus on explaining in depth about the technology and all that shit. You don't need that shit in this show. This show was more about the healing and the love and then the grieving.
Yeah, and,
you know what I mean?
How it helped.
Yeah, and the characters, the connection between the characters was fantastic. And then like the colors scheme that the director chose, and the cinematography was amazing. But definitely recommend it. Watch it. You should definitely watch it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of characters. There's a lot of great characters in the show.
Yeah.
Right. Random characters here and there. They're not in it for long, but like they're really great characters. Yeah.
What's poppin' in the hood?
Yeah. So today, because of the song that I chose to do, we're gonna call it "What's Poppin' in the Hood." A little mix of both of the segments. The reason being is because SHINee's back. After a 2.5-year hiatus. They are the OGs of the K-pop world.
They're around our age, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah. They debuted when they were, I think, 15, 16.
Damn. I remember that with
Yeah.
Jessie, is that her name? That little interview.
Oh yeah, Jessie. She was talking to Mino.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's talking to Mino, and she's like, "Yo, why is his hair so red?" And it's like, why is his hair so freaking bright? But so SHINee consists of Mino or Mino. I don't know how he would prefer it or how people. So Mino, Onyu, Ki, and Taemin. Taemin, who is also part of Super M. who was actually the OG of Super M, but didn't want to be leader, so they made the next one, which is Baekhyun from EXO, the leader. So Shiny is the OGs. These are the guys that really revolutionized K-pop. RIP to Jung Hae-In, who was like, he really changed that idol, the typical idol who just follows what the management and agency says to do. He was a songwriter. He was an artist. He was like a real musician, real artist who really tried to, write the songs, do the music, whatever. Yeah. And like rest in power. He passed away December 17th, 3 years ago, 2017, a week after my birthday, which really sucks. He was amazing. This song, it's kind of different than most, like, obviously there are songs that are usually different, but this song's a little different than usual. This has like a really straight up hip hop kind of feel, with the instrumental being it really sounds like it's based around a hip hop beat, with a little bit of like R&B and electro in it, but really based around the hip hop, right? The hip hop, the hip hop style, apparently, the hip hop style, which is great. So the song is called "Don't Call Me."
I like it.
I like it too. I really like it.
I'm not sure about the opening scene where he has feathers on his head, but that's fine.
It's funny because like it made me think of a raven.
Oh, that's true, eh?
But it also made me think of Goku from Dragon Ball Z. I know it's really random, but it's just like the way his hair was kind of like.
Yeah.
Anyways, so they had like a really new school, old school hip hop kind of K-pop visuals in the music video. The song itself was fantastic, if I do say so myself.
I liked it.
And I think maybe it's not the best song for a comeback, but I mean, it was a really great song, and it shows their versatility. Yeah. In my opinion, because like Onyu and Key, and Taemin are more vocalists. They're more singers, right? And Mino is a vocalist and a rapper as well. Like he can rap. I think he can rap. But the three out of four of them are mainly vocalists, right? And any song any solo songs that I hear from them, they're all mainly like they're singing. They're more vocalists, right? So it's kind of weird, not weird, but like kind of different to show a more of a hip hop, you know what I mean?
Well, they have to come out with a bang,
but they have bangers on this freaking album, on their new album.
I know, but like,
so
isn't
that's what
it
I
the
mean,
first
like,
video and everything though?
It is the first video. This is their title song off. This is the title track. But what I'm saying is like they could have. There's other songs on there that could have been the title track as well.
You never know why they select things, though, right?
Man, you never know especially with SM Entertainment. Yeah. Like you never know. They think like they have like a real like almost like a stranglehold on the industry, but I feel like, anyways, no comments there, please. don't hate me, SM Entertainment. I like you guys. But I mean, like it shows their versatility in the range of their vocals, in their voices, because they weren't going really high pitch, they weren't really going low pitch, but they kept kind of like a steady kind of between like a certain range. Like at points that they did go a little higher, but not like higher than like on other tracks that they've done, but they kept it in range with the beat as well, right? Because the beat, there's no point in the beat where the beat where there's like where the scale is higher in the beat, so there's no point on them scaling their voice up higher than it needs to be, right? Okay. So that's why I really like they really kind of kept it in range of where the beat is in like scale form. I like
belting though.
No, I do. I love it, and especially Taemin can do it. Taemin especially a lot, because Taemin's voice, like they all have distinct voices in Shiny, and that's what like I'm not gonna say. Okay, the better groups have distinctive voices within their groups, right? You can really pick out each one of them, right?
Which is the whole point. Like that's the group you're supposed to...
Some groups like they're really good, but sometimes they take similar voices, right? They take similar sounding voices, and because they try and make it so that these two can So
I feel like the best groups are the ones that all have unique voices, but they can also
mesh together.
What's the word for it? Not synchronize, but anyway, they harmonize. They can harmonize together.
Yeah, and that's what's great. And like groups like EXO, BTS, Monster X, ATEEZ. Actually, ATEEZ is really good if you ever listen to them. Stray Kids. I love Stray Kids, but there's only a few of them that you really can pick out. One of them being Felix, because his vocal range is ridiculous. He goes from super low to super high. And then and so with SHINee you can really pick out each one of them, so you can hear like Taemin has such a distinctive voice, kind of like Baekhyun and EXO. That's very different than the rest of the industry, like rest of the singers in the industry. So it's really, really, really interesting because he didn't go high. And that's like he usually does, but you still like with the three others, it really sounded great. It really, really, really sounded great.
Yeah, I like the song.
Lyric wise, it's a typical like first song type of thing. But I mean, if you're looking at it, it's good. I mean, it's not like anything deeper meaning. Like there probably is a little bit, but nothing that's.
They're probably just coming out with like
this is like right? The main. This is like the radio song, right? Yeah. So
radio songs never.
Yeah. But I mean, without Jung Hae-In, there's not that depth, in my opinion. Like I like SHINee, I love SHINee, but I mean Jung Hae-In really gave that depth in their music when he writes the songs, because he gives so much more meaning to his music. He's right, and when it's like the agency that's getting songwriters to write the songs for them, it's not that.
Well, maybe their next album or their next single will be them.
I hope so. I hope so. But yeah, SHINee's back.
Listen to their song.
Listen to it. Don't call me. But
why
you
would
can call me.
You? I'm kidding. Okay.
Can't remember. My wife doesn't even want to call me.
We're together all day. Why would I call
Anyways, I think that's it for today.
Yeah.
We will be back next week. Man, I don't even know what we're doing next week. Anyways, so enjoy your weekend. If you have any suggestions, throw them this way. Yeah. Music too. I know GOT7 just released their first song after leaving JYP, so that's really cool. Encore. Maybe we'll do that next week. But yeah, any suggestions? Kdramas, K-pop, hip-hop, anything really.
Follow us on all the social media platforms, as always, because you love us. And we love you.
Have a good day.
Take care.
Bye.